Coach Matt Johnson, and you're watching Average Joe's Sports Talk.
All right, I'm here in Reeltown, Alabama with Coach Matt Johnson on the eve of the 2A state championship game versus the Fyffe Red Devils. Coach, it's an honor for you having us down here to sit in with you, get to know you a little bit. And you're from Reeltown. You played high school ball here, correct? And
that's right.
And won a state championship in 2001. Talk about what it's like growing up in a town such as Reeltown, and how with such a rich tradition, and how you came up in this, and now you got a hold of the reins, so to speak, and you're going to the next level with it yourself.
Absolutely. It's just a blessing to be here. This is a special community. It's a special place. I was born and raised here. I had a great opportunity to play under a Hall of Fame coach, and Coach Jackie O'Neal. Before him, he played under a Hall of Fame coach, and Coach Webster. So
no pressure on you there, Coach.
Yeah, and both their names are on the stadium out here that we play on. So
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a very unique, special situation. They both had a lot of success here, so the tradition is rich. I had an opportunity after college to come back and be an assistant under Coach O'Neal, and then I made a few stops elsewhere, and had the opportunity to come back and fill his shoes as head coach coming behind him. So it's a great relationship with Coach O. Me and him, he's been my mentor and just phenomenal coach, phenomenal person. So it's been real special. And then the process of getting back to that expectation, that standard of where we feel like we're supposed to be, it's just been a fun ride. So I'm really tickled with the community, the program, our kids, because as a head coach, you're just an extremely small piece in this whole puzzle. So just to be able to for these kids to buy in and for us to be in this situation is just real special.
Now, I know you probably looked at that as a big challenge, but it also had to be a tremendous opportunity for you.
Absolutely. That's what I say. I knew the expectations were extremely high when I came here as a head coach. They were high when I was a player. They were high when I was an assistant. And that's what you want. That there's certain people that get a rush of adrenaline to take programs and turn them around and all that. But there's also that same focus and mentality and stranglehold where you have to do what you're supposed to do in order to keep a program at that expectation and standard that it's been at traditionally. So that is a challenge, but we all have challenges. But that's the expectations that I want to coach under right there.
Now, talk about that 01 team you were on when you won the state here. How special that was, and the feelings you had, and how that's helped you. Know you're leading the troops now. You're on the other end of the chain.
Man, that's a special group. I tell you, we had an extremely good team. Our backfield was good, and I could go on and on about the memories of that team. We played at Legion Field and got an opportunity to play a team that we played earlier in the year. Matter of fact, it was Notasulga, who's about 10 miles down the road here. So we load up on buses and travel all the way to Birmingham to play a football game. But the lessons you learn, it's just the memories. The moment's so special, the hard work that you put in, and just getting there is just such an awesome feeling. But then it just seems like that week just flies by, preparing for that game. But great memories, it's lasting relationships, for the rest of your life, with my coaches, with my teammates. I still see those guys a lot, and I know they come to a lot of ball games, and it's just a special group. A lot of coaches, a lot of guys, and my teammates turned out, to get in this profession of coaching.
All right. Now you took over here, and your first full season was 2016. And so when you first arrived here, what do you think the biggest difference from when you arrived here to now is, so to speak?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, that there was Coach O'Neal had been the head coach here for 28 years or so. So although he's my mentor, and we do a lot of things the same, but I'm not Coach O'Neal, and he's not me. So there was a learning curve there on how I do things compared to how he may do things. Right, wrong, or indifferent. It just was different. So I think just learning that process of that some things are a little different than how I do it. So I think that was the biggest thing is just that learning curve, and that's where we are now. It was whether small minute details to to how we practice or how we do all season. You know, just little things like that. That was the biggest thing that I had to put my stamp on it.
Right.
You know, I had to make it my own. That's exactly right. And so I think that was probably the biggest change from then to now is, you know, there was just that first year was just such a transition. And had a great group of kids. I felt like they played really hard, but it just took a little bit for us to put our stamp on how we do things.
Absolutely. And, you know, since then to now, you know, to be here in the state championship game, or even the state championship game, you definitely had to be doing something right. And I know you're a faith-based man. I seen that.
Absolutely.
You talk about that. You talk about how you relate that to the kids here and how teach them the right ways of growing up and through football.
Right. That's our philosophy. You know, that's how the program's always been built. You know, it was like that when I played here and I coached here. It's no secret. It's no secret where this coaching staff and myself, where our faith lies. You know, there's a bigger picture in every single thing that we do. Absolutely. Everything's related to a life lesson. You know, and we say all the time, we use words like embrace, commitment, determination, perseverance, not just as a football term, but more than that. We say all the time, you know, keep the main thing the main thing. And good Lord knows I love playing for a state championship. I love for us to be in this situation. We have a great group of young men, but there's so many people that look out there on that field and see football players. Mm-hmm. But man, they have just unbelievable story. There's so many kids in that locker room that just has a story of perseverance and overcoming adversity, and stories that's going to take them to a different level in life, to where, you know, they're going to be playing for state championships every single day in their life by hopefully what they learned by coming through our program. So that's our mindset. That's how we build things. And along the way, we want to play some good football at the same time. But there's no secret, you know, to what we try to do. Is we're not hiding the fact that you know, we're going to do everything around Christian values, and that's how we run our program.
I absolutely love that. I love hearing that. And Coach, let's dive into this season a little bit. Coming in, the expectations had to be really high here, but you know, the South bracket in 2A is very, very strong. You had some hard teams that you played, and a tough schedule. Can you talk about this season overall in general, to where you are now from where you started?
Absolutely. You know, we came out of the gate. We played two teams as bigger classification than we are. Bullitt County, which is went through a rebuilding process with Coach Willie Spears over there. It's his second year, and he's just done a remarkable job with that program. It's not the same Bullitt County that it was 10 years ago. They're playing really good football, and he's got those guys believing. So that was a tough test right out the gate. Felt like our guys played really well, and then the next week we played another bigger classification, which is also our cross-county rival in Dadeville. We get their best every year. They get our best, so that was a good game. Then we started region play, and we just played really good. I felt like one of our marquee victories, we went on the road to Maplesville, played a really good game against them. It was 33-7 late in the game, and we gave up, you know, a couple of touchdowns late in the game that made it look a little different. But you know, we were playing extremely good ball, and I felt like we probably got a little complacent, started smelling ourselves a little bit. You know, week 10, we went up the road to Ramburn and played probably our worst half of football that we've played all year. Now, I mean, Coach Bailey did a great job. Ramburn had a lot to do with that. There's no doubt about it. But played a terrible first half. We came out the second half and kind of got refocused, rejuvenized, and had a chance to win the game as poorly as we played. I felt like that right there was a turning point. We got to a point where we had crossed over from being confident and got a little cocky. So Ramburn kind of brought us back down, humbled us a little bit, and since then we've played our best ball. There's no doubt about it.
It made your job a little bit easier when you can get attention to people. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you've heard Coach Saban say, guys say, you don't ever want to waste a failure. And I think 100% that's been our mentality. We took a failure and we've made something positive out of it. We haven't wasted it. You know, the next week was our bye week, so we had a chance to really focus on ourselves because we didn't know who we were playing first round until the week of, really. So, and that just started, you know, round one, Zion Chapel. Then we had a long road trip to JU Blackshear with an extremely good team. I mean, they came out of nowhere in Region 1. Man, they got a quarterback he's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
At GW Long the next week, which is a totally different beast. They do a lot of things similar to Fyffe. Offensively, they were running the same offense first half, so that was total change up, and then the next week you get rewarded with playing Leroy. I mean, you know how they are. They're the same old Leroy, just traditional.
Talk about that game. You know, I was in Fyffe last week, and the people of Fyffe has a tremendous amount of respect for you and your program. I mean, a tremendous amount of coaching staff, fans, everybody, players, and we were all sitting by, you know, our phones looking at the score updates, you know, and it was back and forth, and when it finally ended 29-28, talk us through that emotional game and how that turned out on the positive end for you.
Right. Well, our pastor said it earlier. He made a good point. He said it was like watching just two sledgehammers just constantly hitting each other. And
there you go.
That's what it was. And we both, I mean, hats off to those guys. They could be right here in this position just as well as we are, because they played a tremendous game, had a great game plan. They came on the road to our place and played that type of football. They've got a running back who will play on Saturdays, and quarterback, a couple of players. And but it was just back and forth. We were able. They took the lead with about a minute and a half left in the game, and a lot of people, I'm sure, thought that was it. You know, a minute and a half left in the game. We're down by 7, but our guys, like I said, they overcame. They fought back. We went right down the field and scored and took it into overtime, and we won the toss, deferred in overtime. They got it back, and 2 plays later they scored, take the lead, kick the extra point. And I told our offensive coordinator going into overtime, I said, hey, look, we're wore down, they're wore down. If they score and kick the extra point, we're planning on going for 2. I want you to get a play ready.
Man, that's awesome.
So we get back on offense, we score, and
was you nervous for that play, Connie?
well, hey, I'd already took it off my chest. I went ahead and put it on him. Hey, you found the play.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a defensive guy. So we scored and take the lead, and or excuse me, score, and we're down by 1. And it was just a matter of how we wanted to go for 2. Well, on the play that we scored on, the touchdown pass, which is the same guy that snaps for our extra point. So that was just a sign, hey, man, you got to go for 2.
Man,
so
awesome.
We went for 2 and got a huge penalty on that play, which, I mean, it was an obvious penalty. We lined back up and just pounded it right in and won the game.
Man, that's amazing.
It was an awesome atmosphere.
Talk about that feeling when that clock finally struck 0 and you knew, hey, man, we're going to go play for it all.
It was awesome. Cameron Faison stuck it in the end zone, and that kid's a story in itself. It's just, you know, it's all about the relationships and the main thing, and just seeing those kids and what they've come through to be able to celebrate on that field, in that atmosphere, in that moment.
In front of your hometown, huh?
In the hometown, that is high school football.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is it. That's what's so fun about it.
That's absolutely correct. Now, this week you're going to be playing Paul Benfield and Fyffe. What have you seen from Fyffe that's kind of stuck out to you, maybe on film, or what you've known over the years about them?
It's like I told you earlier, they're just a machine. What they do on both sides of football now is just, I mean, that's what they're going to do. You know, they're not changing anything. They've won, I don't know, like 100 games in a row or something like that. Coach Benefield is just, I mean, he's just done an unbelievable job. It is 100% just, I mean, it's just a machine. And it just keeps trucking. They're relentless in every single thing that they do in every facet of the game. And that what they do offensively, they're going to keep doing it until they make you like it. And when you like it, they got you. So, I mean, it does a remarkable job. They're very physical. They're flat back, low shoulders, low pad level coming off the ball, and they're hitting you at the hips. And when they hit, they move people. So they're extremely strong, very great physical condition. Not a whole lot of wow factors that stand out to you physically, but they're just hard-nosed, high school, old school football.
Hey, I like this matchup though. It's one a lot of people's gonna be excited about watching, and I'm gonna tell you, they got a tremendous amount of respect for you guys, your players, and your staff. I can tell you that from the whole town of Fyffe, from friends and a lot of people up there.
Right.
And
it's definitely
mutual. Be watching this video, Coach. I appreciate you sitting in with us.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.